line is time to go racing. McNeely on the inside, Schrag on the outside. Thomas knows that he has got to do something. He's significantly back in points after a rough St. Petersburg. He needs a race win here. And will he be the driver to end the streak for Liam McNeely? He starts on pole. Field looking good. Look up top. And no, the yellow flag will come out. We don't have a start. Not quite sure what happened there, but race control. Not happy. We do see, if you look at the top of the screen, there's a driver slowing in the back, potentially coming to pit lane. There's the number 18, yeah. Trouble there for Brady Golan. Man, it's been a rough weekend for Brady as he slows. Not exactly sure. Maybe they thought that he was going to come and not be able to get to the, actually even to pit lane. He doesn't look like he's potentially under power. Field will set themselves back up again. Again, this race, 15 laps. 15 laps or 45 minutes, the time window for the drivers here in USF 2000. Brendan, you got an older brother running in the USF 2000 program. He ran in USF Juniors last year. Did you guys sit down? I never did this with my brother, my kid brother, but did you guys sit down, because he has the experience, did you talk a little bit about his experiences coming through what he learned during his year in juniors?
Yeah, it helps a lot having a brother who went through the season, because before races I can sit down with him at home, look over video, and just study like for the race weekend. Yeah. And you know, you can always study so much, but nothing beats having on-track experience.
That's true.
So he can share that with me, and it really helps going into race weekends.
And I know you came to a lot of races last year, and you were just itching to be able to get out here and drive. How does it feel to finally not have to be on the sidelines? I know you did at Road America last year, but you got a full season in front of you. I got to feel you got to feel pretty relieved you're actually going racing this year.
Yeah, it's great. You know, last year I was actually so desperate to drive, I went to the rental car track just to scratch the itch a little bit. But
I love that.
This is definitely a lot better, and I'm really excited for this season.
Yeah, I'm proud of you. You did a great job. Again, a couple of top 11 finishes, 3 all told, 2 11th, and an 8th place finish. I always say, try to get through this opening weekend, rolling that car back to the trailer every time. If you've done that, that's job one. You'll gain the experience moving forward. Pace car is actually coming back out onto pit lane. I'm not exactly right. It was looking like it was going to come out. It may be coming to meet the field once again. No, now it's backing up. So we look like we're potentially going to go green. I'm not sure yet. They're working their way out again of turn number 13. Field is set. Looking good now. Here we go. Do we get the green flag this time by for McNeely? We do. Green, green, green. Racing down into turn number 1. Watch him fan out. 3 wide further back. Inside move for McNeely. Schrag's going to have to force the issue. He knows it. He's going to throw it deep into the corner. Big wide outside run for Thomas Schrag. He'll stay on the loud pedal. Not quite enough because a great run through turn number 1 for Liam McNeely. He'll take the spot. Next opportunity for Schrag. We to throw it down the inside of turn number 3. Not quite close enough. Little lockup though on that left front for McNeely. Could that play a factor later in the run? Forced very quickly. Here's a big move to the inside for Cooley. He's looking to the inside of G3 Argyros. Cooley throws it across the bow. He may actually maybe getting challenged here by Jack Jeffers further back. The 2 exclusive Autosport teammates side by side, I believe, coming through the corner. So we're underway for the opening circuit. The drone giving us a great shot there. You can see Liam McNeely so good here on the cold tires. And again, I don't think you can really discount confidence and what it means to one of these young drivers. You just feel like you can do anything on the racetrack. There are corners that you're taking flat out that maybe even your coach wouldn't do. You just feel on top of the world, like everything's going to work for you, and that's what we got right now for Liam McNeely. He's trying to win the first 5 races of the season. Second place overall last year in USF Juniors. Really probably could have challenged for the championship if not for a couple of incidents that gave him some very low point scores on race weekends. Otherwise, the opening lap here playing out fairly well. We'll see how they stack up. We'll give you a full field rundown when they come out here. Couple drivers up on the top of the curbing there, side by side coming out of turn number 13. Why not? You got to hold on for that one. Man, that's pucker factor coming out of that corner side by side there. Sideways coming through the corner as well. McNeely is your leader. Second place, Schrag. Watch some of this further back as they're trying to fight it out again here. So Schrag runs in second, Argyros third, Jeffers fourth, Cooley fifth, Musella sixth, Cameron seventh, Gaffera now eighth, Martella ninth, and Joshua Leonel in 10th. 11th is Sebastian Garzone, 12th, Carell. 13th, Lionel. 14th, Hauk. Fakiri, Janetta, Beswick, and Bossoff. And again, the issue early with Brady Golan into pit lane, likely some kind of mechanical on the 18. Brendan, how much easier is it to watch an opening lap from here in the booth than it is behind the wheel of the race car?
It's definitely a lot less stress, I would say. But I definitely prefer to be in the start. Nothing beats it. Nothing beats the front row seat.
Oh, I agree with you. The starts are some of the favorites when you're driving anything. It's karts, cars, I don't care. The starts are so much fun. The anticipation of that green and then reacting to everybody as you work through the first couple of corners. McNeely 1.1 second out already. Schrag was doing everything he could to put himself ahead of him, but that has not happened as of yet. And again, we talked about how much quicker Liam McNeely was during the race there. He was a half a second faster than the next quickest driver. Look at this deal. We're going to go hardcore side by side through the corner. That is the, I believe, the number 8 at Timothy Carell. He's got his teammate on the outside. That's the number 9 of Anthony Martella. They are going at it. Carell's trying to move his way forward. Indeed. See that battle a bit further back. 3 wide, deeper in the field. Why not? One of the drivers on the inside going to throw it down the bottom. Thinking about 4 wide? I wouldn't do that. Deep into the corner. Nicely done coming through there. This is good stuff. That's Ayrton Hauk right there. That is Hauk. I want to say Lucas Fakiri. And behind them as well, Timmy Carell. So Anthony Martelli in there. Lucas Fakiri up on the wheel trying to push super hard, as is Ayrton Hauk. Again, I said earlier in the driver's intro that he's trying to really save what's been a really rough weekend for him. They did not start the weekend well at all. An engine issue, then a cracked header, then off the racetrack in qualifying 1. Finally able to get a good qualifying, at least a decent qualifying in 2, and again that allowed him to start a little further up the field in race 2, or this one, race 3, though, starting back in 15th. Hauk looks like he's in a position to start moving his way forward. So indeed, early laps, the battle from about 11th on back, maybe one of the most heated scraps on the racetrack right now. 3 laps in. Brendan, opening couple of laps, I know you're hectic, right? You are trying to make those split-second decisions. You're reacting to what's happening on track. Is it about lap 3, lap 4, where you kind of start settling into that groove? You're in a pack. You kind of understand where you are. Hey, I'm 10th, or I've got myself up to 7th. Is it about that 3 or 4 lap mark where you really settle in?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a lot of adrenaline going through at the start, but after that, it kind of calms down, and then you can really think, like, okay, I really need to hit my marks, find a groove. Obviously try and push, but don't make any crazy mistakes this early in the race. Who's
normally on your radio, and did they talk to you at all in the first couple of laps, or did they leave you alone?
I have my engineer, Braden Eves. Yep. He calls the greens for me, and then he really helps me get into the rhythm, reminds me just hit your marks, look forward, and just keep doing what you know how to do and just move forward.
I've heard of that guy before. Braden Eves, a former USF2000 champion, as we know. Last year winning the Freedom 90 in USF Pro 2000. Couple of brake lockups here. That's tough. You got to watch yourself when you're locking the brake here. We saw it with Liam McNeely over in turn number 3 on the opening circuit. McNeely, Schrag, Argyros, Jeffers, Cooley. That is currently your top 5. And there is Jeffers. There is Evan Cooley right there in that number 90 exclusive Autosport machine. I got his brother beside me here, Brendan Cooley, who had a great weekend here in USF Juniors to start off the program. Of course, 6 weekends overall for USF Juniors, 1 down, all of them triple header weekends to give them 18 races on the season. They'll look to Barber Motorsports Park on the opening weekend of May. What do you think about going to run with the NTT IndyCar Series? That's going to be a fun weekend.
Yeah, it'll be really cool. There will be a lot of fans there, get to meet people, but it adds a little more stakes. You know, you want to win in front of everyone, and it really adds some fun to the weekend.
How about IndyCar rubber, too? Sooner or later, you're going to get out there after IndyCar's been on track. It's going to feel a bit different. I'm sure the crews talk to you about that a little bit.
Yeah, that'll be fun to really feel how the track changes throughout the day, more rubber, and same with, it can get hot in Alabama, so that can really affect the handling of the car, and it's a challenge, but it's a fun challenge.
And that's a lot about what we're doing here, folks, with this driver development program, bringing these kids in from kart racing or F1600, whatever it may be, and jumping them into this USF Juniors car, this Tatis JR23. There's so much they have to learn about different track conditions, the events themselves. So again, Brendan very early on in his journey as he focuses on trying to get to IndyCar himself. There's the lockup there again, coming into turn number 4 for Thomas Schrag. He's done it a couple times, locked it up going into the corner, and G3 Argyros, who sat beside me here earlier for that USF Juniors race, or rather USF Pro 2000 race, is up on the wheel right now. He is trying to chase Schrag into making a mistake, but Thomas already has 2 podiums on the weekend. Sure, Liam McNeely is pulling away and really has dominated the first half of the season thus far, but drivers like Jack Jeffers, like Thomas Schrag, are trying to stack up a bunch of podiums to make sure they don't let Liam McNeely get too far away. Because, yeah, he's been the dominant driver here at St. Pete, dominant driver so far at NOLA. But when you get to Indy, things change. Exclusive Autosport was quick at Indy last year. We know that. Brendan, your brother was on the pole position there, ended up getting to the podium as well, so they got a good hot rod there. And then you go to tracks like Mid-Ohio, and then onto the oval as well. Are you thinking about doing some oval testing this year, maybe? I know you're not going to run in the race, but maybe some oval testing later in the year. Have you thought about that?
Definitely. I mean, experience is experience. You know, it's nothing beats seat time. And when I eventually, I plan to move up to USF2000, and then it'll help me get an extra step against the competition to get that experience in early. I
agree with that, 100%. This is battle for second spot, Thomas Schrag and G3 Argyros. And listen, folks, it's carbon copy of the first couple races of the year. 3-second the advantage here right now for McNeely. Schrag has got Argyros on the gearbox. At least he was coming right through turn number 3. Lost a bit of air there. A big wide run again for Schrag. Couldn't get the car to come down to the apex. He still leverages it. Runs his way through 4. Back through turn number 5. A little lift coming through that corner there. As we heard talking to G3 Argyros, kind of give us a little insight on what it takes to get around the back part of this racetrack. Turn 5, 6, and 7. Remember, those of you tuning in here, one more race to go. USF Pro 2000. Quick little look at everybody here on the chat. Hope you guys are having a good time. A little shout out to those of you. Brendan and I watching the chat here as well. The drivers moving up as well. Ayrton Hauk up into 11th. That battle we saw with Martella, Fakuri, Timothy Carell. Great job for Ayrton Hauk. He has now got himself up into the 11th position. Hauk started 15th, so +4. Again, just trying to salvage what has been a tough weekend, at least a tough start to the weekend. He's had a good day here today on a Sunday. All right, what does Argyros have here? He knows the same thing. He sees that driver up front. 4 different teams in the top 5 right now, or top 4 as well, top 5. Jay Howard Driver Development leads the way. VRD Racing in 2nd, Paps Racing 3rd, Exclusive Autosport in 4th. EA in 5th as well with Evan Cooley. Those teammates, Jack Jeffers and Evan Cooley, 4th and 5th. Lucas Fakuri has worked his way up into the 13th spot. Remember, he started at the very tail of the field. He was last. He was 19th. He's already worked his way up to 13th, so +6 for the Brazilian Lucas Fakuri. And again, all of that, if you look at the body work from a team, yeah, everybody's trying to get that driver championship, but there's also that team championship that's up for grabs. Jay Howard currently running P1, 11 and 12 with their top 3 drivers. Schrag for VRD in 2nd. Then you go back to Musella and Cameron, 6th and 7th. Pabst has Argyros in 3rd. Gaffera in 8th. Exclusive is 4th, 5th, and 13th. Again, watching this fight here, not so much a fight anymore. Schrag's been able to pull away a little bit last time by, gained about a 10th. A little further back, though. Here's that battle coming out of 8 and 9. What do we got here for a fight? Big move to the inside, potentially. That might be Caleb Gaffera grabbing a spot. I think that is Gaffera by Christian Cameron at the end of the back straightaway. Book it. He is through. Gaffera makes a move for P7. Caleb Gaffera started 8th, kind of where he ran. He was that driver that was trying to make the move to the inside. It didn't quite work for him. I think he lost a couple of spots, but he's pressed the reset button and he's moving back forward. So Gaffera, who is now by Cameron, will move him up into the 7th spot. Teddy Musella is the driver in front of him, but he's up the road by about a second. Last time by, however, Caleb Gaffera half a second quicker than Musella. Let's keep an eye on that black and white machine. He is moving. Driver to Charlotte, North Carolina, Caleb Gaffera. Ran Skip Barber a couple of years ago and did some British F1600 racing in 2024. A lot of karting back home at Trackhouse Motorplex in Mooresville. Did a little bit of sports car racing as well with the World Racing League. First year here in the USF Pro Championships. On the podium, as we know, in St. Petersburg, but got into the wall over in turn number 4 to hurt his chances there to be too far up in the points. Again, an issue in race number 1, race number 2, Gaffera finishing 4th. So it's kind of been that hot and cold season so far for Gaffera, but he's shown the speed that he has. The next fight could be coming up for him. Let's watch this as they work their way through turn number 8 and 9. I think that is now Evan Cooley getting challenged big time here by Masella. So that will be the next battle here for Gaffera to get up to the Masella Cooley scrap. That is for P5 and 6. And Cooley on the podium in race number 2, trying to stack those points up to make sure he stays in the championship contention before it's all said and done. Here's Cameron and Garzone. Christian Cameron and Sebastian Garzone. Cameron out of Sonoma, California. Garzone, the Lucas Oil School of Racing Formula Car Series champion from last year to Bogota, Colombia. Won both of the junior races at this past year's Supercarts USA Super Nationals in Las Vegas. So that's a feat that's only been done 2 other times. That's them there, Cameron in the VRD, red and black machine, then right behind him the blue and white of Sebastian Garzone. Brendan, you were in the middle of a bunch of hardcore battles throughout, I think, almost all of your races there. When you're trying to hunt somebody down, is your approach to really try to wear them down, kind of show that nose? I know a lot of you drivers like to tuck a nose here and there, or are you just right behind them trying to stay on their gearbox?
Well, you want to apply pressure because it can cause a driver in front to make a mistake, and it's an easy pass without you losing a lot of time. But you just really try and hit your marks. Obviously, just like focus forward and just do everything you can to get past that driver. I had Joey Brienza in the booth here, your team in Exclusive Autosport, talking about USF Pro and the aero wash there. Again, G3 Argyros talked a little bit about it. Could you feel the aero wash for you guys too? I know you don't have a lot of downforce on the USF junior cars, but did it play a factor in trying to make overtakes? Yes, definitely. You could feel the car get light through the high-speed turns. Yeah, just start losing that, right? You get that understeer that you don't want to have. You're like, I got this move, I'm going to run. Well, maybe I don't. More wheel in it, right? Yeah. All right, we are looking lap number 9. Remember, 15 for USF 2000. So when they come back around here, call it lap number 10. 5 laps to go for Liam McNeely. Can he do 5 straight victories? 4.8 seconds up. This kid is on another level right now. It is all working. And it's something that feeds itself. I always say that wins breed wins. The minute you get that first victory, sometimes it'll open up the floodgates and you'll be able to win more because you start getting the confidence. But when a driver like Liam McNeely, who was runner-up last year in juniors, jumps into that car and really has confidence in the car, he's got confidence in his engineers, that's when it happens. Here's the battle here further back. That's a move by Garzone to the inside. Book it. He's through as well over in turn number 3. Moves Sebastian Garzone by Christian Cameron for P8. Remember, Garzone had a rough one driving over the top of Argyros in race number 1. Race 2, he finished 6th. He's back up now here into the 8th position. Garzone started 13th, so +5 on the race for Sebastian Garzone. He's pretty quick. He's going to see if he can't get up the road to Gaffera. Caleb was about a 10th quicker than Masella. It's 8 tenths. So he's not making any ground right now either. It's to me like Evan Cooley just turned his fast lap at 135.296. So you can just see the gap. Evan turns his fast lap at a 55.296. McNeely 34.685. Almost over 6 tenths quicker is McNeely out front. He is hustling this race car in a big way. I talked to Jay Howard after the second race where McNeely got another victory, and he said, looking at the video, Rob, he's taking corners and carrying the corner speed that I'm kind of sucking up like, I don't know if I'd do that. But he is. He's got so much confidence in the race car that he is hanging it out on the ragged edge. And that is paying off for him right now, no doubt about it. These teams and drivers will know that when they get to Indianapolis in May, they got to find something. They got to win some races here, because if McNeely can come out with a couple more wins, if he keeps stacking up these victories, he's going to lock this thing down early. And there's a lot of racing still to go. This is only the second of 8 weekends. The Oval obviously one as well to watch. 1.5 points for the Freedom 75 on Carbonite Classic at the Indianapolis Raceway Park. Man, McNeely looks good coming through there. What do you think about that? You're having a good look at this right now, Brendan. He is working all the curbs, and that car looks super balanced. Yeah, it looks like he's using all the room he can to set up best for high-speed turn 6, which will carry your run all the way down to turn 10, so it's a very critical corner. And you got to think about this. You're here, for the first time at NOLA in full race situations.
He was here last year as well. Are you ready for our understanding that next year you're going to be so much better prepared than you were this year, because you come in kind of as a raw rookie this year? This was Liam McNeely last year. He'd never been here before. Now he's out front in USF2000. I'm sure that you'll be learning throughout the year, but I'm sure you're ready to get at it even again for 2026.
Yeah, definitely. Experience, it means a lot. And just knowing just the little bits and characteristics of the car and the track can really help you, give you that little extra bit over some of the rookies. And this season, that's really what I'm trying to learn to do. Learn the most that I can in preparation for next season, or if I learn fast enough, I could be in the fight at the end of this season.
I agree with you on that. And the funny thing is, the experience is something you can't buy. It's just time. You got to have track time, right? You can't just go out and, hey, I want a new engine. You can't buy experience, guys. You have to bide your time. You have to be patient. And that's what Brendan Cooley and all the other drivers in USF Juniors are getting here in 2025. McNeely's fast lap came on lap number 7, 134.685. He just did a 134.7. So he is setting the pace and keeping that pace as well. You saw the different racing line for Thomas Schrag. I thought earlier that maybe he was pushing through, but it seems like he has a bit of a different line coming through there to set up more for the exit of the corner. He has pulled a bit away here from G3 Argyros. He's almost identical lap times for Argyros and Jack Jeffers, so he's not in a position to close up on him either. Same goes for Cooley. He's about 2/10 off of Jeffers. Lascelles is a little bit quicker on that last lap, but it's still 7/10 of a second back. Gaffarra runs 7th, Garzone 8th, Cameron 9th, Ayrton Hauk now up into 10th. Ayrton back up into 10th again in race number 2. He started 11th, finished 10th. This time he started 15th and he's up to 10th. So he is really starting to dial things in there with the Benchmark Autosport Tatis. Great job for Ayrton Hauk. Privateer team, single effort there for Kevin and Hauk and his son Ayrton. They ran with DC Autosport last year. Don Connor, who ran that team, is now the engineer for Benchmark. That's a program run and managed by Kevin Hauk. Just a Sunday drive here in New Orleans for Liam McNeely. Lead now 6.6 seconds over Thomas Schrag. Really no super close battles on the track. If anything, it's a fight here between Ayrton Hauk, Brad Majman, and Anthony Martella. You throw Timmy Carell in there as well, because Majman's just a half a second behind Hauk, and to be honest, Martella right there with Majman. Those are the two Jay Howard teammates. In fact, Jay Howard teammates are 11th, 12th, and 13th. Majman, Martella, and Carell. This is Liam McNeely. You look at his career coming up through the ranks as well at karting. Janetta Jr. for a couple years. A strong run in GB4 as well, where he was able to come away with a number of victories. Back there in 2023, 2 wins, 3rd overall. Last year, as I said, runner-up in USF Juniors on the strength of 5 wins, 8 top 5s, and maybe even more importantly, 12 top 10s. He had a couple of DNFs. There was an incident at VIR that took him out of the race. I think he had a couple of DNFs that held him back, but finished essentially right behind Max Taylor in the championship battle. This is shaping up very nicely for Liam McNeely. This is the dream start for any driver to come out of the gate with 5 straight wins to start the season, stacking on those 30-plus points. And as it runs right now, remember, he started on the pole. He's got the fastest lap. He's led the most laps, obviously. Nobody's taken that away. 14 laps down. This is going to be the final lap on the racetrack for McNeely. There's a possibility here, and a good possibility, of 33 points, a full points haul for McNeely to continue to stretch away. Again, only race number 2, and as I said before, Christian Rasmussen had a solid lead in 2020, that COVID year. Won a bunch of races to start the season, 5 of 7 or something like that. Then had a horrible weekend at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, where he finished at the back of the field in both races. The once 70-something point lead shrunk to, I believe, 3 points heading to Mid-Ohio, or just before that. And then from pole in the opening lap, he had an issue, drove off on the outside of the carousel on the opening circuit, the final corner on the racetrack. At the end of that race, Reese Gold was only 3 points behind. So the case study is there. Everybody's got to keep pushing. Liam's going to be able to have a nice little time to relax and work out at the shop in Fishers, Indiana, Jay Howard Driver Development. But, man, every other driver is going to be fighting to see what they can do when maybe something happens and they get an opening. Final lap on the racetrack, folks. Liam McNeely. I'm not going to stack up the back-to-back. We'll just call this 5 straight victories when he comes out of the final corner. Dream start to the season. Sure, the family and fans over in London are going to be jacked up for this one. Unbelievable start to the campaign. 5 straight victories. He sweeps the weekend here in USF 2000 NOLA Motorsports Park. Liam McNeely takes the checkered flag in race number 3, round number 5. The fight to the finish was a good one for sure. Thomas Schrag able to outrun G3 Argyros. Jack Jeffers coming home in 4th. Another top 5 for Jeffers. Evan Cooley as well, P5. Teddy Masella in 6th. Caleb Gaffera 7th. Sebastian Garzone in 8th. Christian Cameron 9th. Here's that last battle of the top 10. Ayrton Hout gets 10th, but Martella and Carell able to get by Brad Majman. So Martella 11th, Timmy Carell 12th, Majman 13th, 14th, I believe, to Lucas Facuri. As the remainder of the field coming through. Ryan Janetta, Eddie Beswick, Vian Bossoff capping off the final drivers across the line. Brendan, a good one for sure there. Let's take the opportunity while they do the cool down lap. I know that you need a lot of sponsors for this program. You got a great team behind you. Give me your sponsors and wrap it all up with how they can follow you on social media.
Yeah, I'd like to thank my sponsors, Innovel Global Logistics, ITI Intermodal, and then especially my parents for supporting me, being there for all the highs and lows, and just really helping me get to this point. And if anyone wants to follow me, my Instagram is just Brendan Cooley Racing, and then I should be the first one to pop up.
Congratulations, my friend. Good job.
Thank you.
I know you're a little nervous coming in, but you did a heck of a job. Brendan Cooley, folks, for Exclusive Autosport. Again, a young driver in USF Juniors. 3 solid finishes to start off the 2025 campaign, and you heard him talk a lot about the experience he expects to gain. All that time on the racetrack, the testing you're able to do. This is a young driver you're going to be watching coming through the ranks over the next number of years. His brother, Evan Cooley, strong run to P5 today in race number 3 after a podium in race number 2. Liam McNeely rolling down here, though. No one happier than Liam McNeely, I think, at the racetrack right now. Man, what a way to start the season. 5 straight wins. I don't know the last time we've had someone come out of the gate like that with 5 straight wins. I'll have to go to Jeremy Shaw and Tammy Valkoski to dive into the record books on that one, the archive for the USF Pro Championships, to see who indeed came away with it. This is impressive for McNeely. He'll work his way in to victory lane. Again, as I said, 4 different teams in the top 4. This has been kind of the case here. It's impressive. Jay Howard, VRD, Pabst, and Exclusive. I don't know that we're going to see a wild level of celebration here simply because of the fact that he's won the last 5 races. There's no relief because he's won so many. Right now, it's just a quiet confidence of McNeely. Again, you think how many times he's won here. That is 4 wins over 2 years because he was a winner last year in USF Juniors as well. He's going to want to come back to NOLA Motorsports Park whenever he can because he has got this thing rolling. McNeely will get out of the car. We'll wait for that, and then we'll head down to victory lane. USF Pro 2000 driver still to come. Look at that. Another big one there for Liam McNeely. Impressive. We had that yellow off the start, but we went green to checker after that. I love seeing that. Another fantastic run. Well done, juniors drivers. All these green to checker events is exactly what we're looking at. Unbelievable for sure. Folks, driver introductions start in about 23 minutes for USF Pro 2000. I'll be back up here in the booth for that one. There's Father Paul McNeely coming in to say hi. His mom's here this weekend as well. Had a chance to meet Liam's mom earlier today. What a weekend. There she is right there. She'll come in for a hug in a couple of seconds. But again, the McNeely family pretty happy there, yes. So happy for 3 straight wins for Liam McNeely. Folks, down to victory lane right now. USF Pro 2000 drivers will be getting ready to go. Hold on, don't go anywhere. Victory lane celebrations after this. All right, folks, let's get out of here. One more race to go after this one. It's been a busy day here at NOLA Motorsports Park, as you know. A fantastic drive there up front. Green to checker once again for USF Pro 2000, or rather USF 2000 after that early yellow for a non-start. Otherwise, we went green to checker. Again, let's bring up the drivers here. 3 different teams, as I said right before I came down here on the broadcast. A fantastic run for all these drivers up front. Finishing 3rd place today for Pabst Racing, G3 Argyros. 3rd spot for G3. Coming home in 2nd, started on the outside of the front row, and he was trying to do everything he could to get the lead. Just didn't, but 3 straight podiums on the day for VRD Racing. Thomas Schrag back on the podium again. Consistent weekend for Thomas as he'll come home P2. Man, I'm telling you, I talk to this guy more than I talk to my fiance now. This is getting busy up here. Fantastic job, ladies and gentlemen. The winner today for J. Howard Driver Development, Liam McNeely. You know, the start of the season, you and I talked about the fact we get to practice doing these interviews. I didn't realize you'd take it literally. We would keep doing them. Congratulations, man. Another fantastic run.
Yeah, you know, really good race from my side. The boys gave me a great car again this afternoon. So, yeah, really good. I'm really happy to get another win.
Could you have dreamt this start to the season? Obviously, every driver says, I want to win every race, but did you think you'd be able to come out and be this strong?
No, not at all, really. But I think, you know, the car's good at the moment, but, you know, there's going to be times where other teams are going to get faster. So, yeah, it's good to get the wins now, but we got to keep working and push for IMS.
Temperature was going higher during the day. Did any surprises on the racetrack? Was it greasy at all?
Yeah, it was a little different from this morning. Yeah, I had a bit of oversteer, but it was all good, really. And yeah, nice and controlled, so it was all good.
You've done this before. Hop on top of the podium. The collection is growing here. Another first place trophy for Liam McNeely as he wins his 5th straight race of the year, a commanding lead in the points championship. But there are drivers behind him, as I had said, who have been very consistent in those podium runs, those top 5 runs. You can never lift on the throttle in a program as competitive as this here in the USF Pro Championships. You do that, and you're going to find all the other drivers coming back. You got to keep your head down and keep digging. I have no doubt that's what you're going to see out of Liam McNeely. He has done a tremendous job, and as I said, getting used to talking to this guy at Victory Lane. It's 5 straight wins. Man, unbelievable weekend for Liam McNeely. 3 teams again, as I said, on the podium as well. J. Howard Driver Development, VRD, and Paps Racing. As I said, 4 different teams in the top 4 when you throw Exclusive Autosport in there as well. That's the quality and the level of competition we have between our teams here in USF 2000 as well. So, folks, this is the last time these guys are going to have to race in these suits this weekend. So the champagne is there. Drop your hats down. Let's get out of the way. Feel free to have some fun, folks. Grip it and rip it, guys. Let's get at it. Celebrations for race number 3 here at NOLA Motorsports Park. Yeah, they're going to go after Liam now, finally. There you go. That's what we're talking about. There it is. The celebration is done. Triple header for USF 2000 is completed. Such talented drivers in this series, folks. Can't wait to see them move their way up into USF Pro 2000 and eventually Indy next, and IndyCar, following in the footsteps of drivers like Renus VK and Kyle Kirkwood and so many other of the top drivers who have came through USF 2000 as well. We'll see if either of those drivers are able to get the job done in Long Beach here this afternoon. Folks, one more race to go, and again, it'll be a little bit before we're back at it. USF Pro 2000 up next to cap off the day.
He's over.